recognized as a premier local builder of new homes and commercial properties in the Puget Sound area. Our 360-degree construction approach matches first-class materials with the highest construction standards to create truly unique and timeless communities for our Northwest neighborhoods. Visit Gamut360.com and discover the home that matters most to you.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Good afternoon and welcome to a sold-out, standing room only Mike Martin Gymnasium here on the campus of Kings High School in Shoreline, Washington, where we have a huge Washington State girls 1A basketball game today. The visiting Cashmere Bulldogs are in the house, led by Leah Vaughn. If you haven't heard the name, you need to get to know it. She is one of the top 10 high school players in the entire nation. According to ESPN.com, she's the #1 point guard in the class of 2020, already committed to Louisville. And her Cashmere Bulldogs currently ranked #1 in the state, undefeated and just steamrolling all of their opponents. And oh, by the way, Leah Vaughn, who happens to be a senior, still looking for her first state championship. Third place last year, second place her sophomore year, and second place her freshman year. And they will be taking on the Kings Knights, the home team here, currently ranked 5th in the state at the 1A level, a team that is always a formidable opponent, a team that is always competing for state titles, the 2015 state champs. And we're going to pause here briefly as we're about ready to.
Our gracious God, now that we walk beyond you this afternoon, we thank you for the privilege to be here. We thank you for interscholastic events like basketball, the lessons that can be learned from it. Father, we pray that both teams would represent their schools well, and also, Father, that good sportsmanship be shown by everyone, and that all participants be kept safe from injury. Once again, Father, thank you for the privilege to be here. Thank you for our guests from Cashmere. May you grant them traveling mercies as they leave the end of the day. In Jesus' name, amen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Kings High School varsity basketball team performing.
And now the starting lineup's about to be announced here in just a moment.
I think they're doing a national anthem first.
We're going to do the national anthem here just momentarily. Sung tonight by the Kings basketball team. very special moment right there. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Not only is it one of the athletes that's participating in the game, the entire team singing the national anthem. That is the Kings Knights, again, coming into the game, undefeated in league play, 13-3 overall. They've played a very tough schedule, trying to get ready for the district tournaments, which are just around the corner. Again, this gym is loud. There's not been a place to park out in the parking lot for a good 30 minutes. There are 3 food trucks out in the front. They're expecting such a large crowd today. Everybody who's somebody in the world of girls high school basketball, certainly on the west side of the state, in the house today. You see Scorebook Live, Northwest Ballers, various coaches from the area. This is a big one today. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineups while they're being introduced out on the floor right now. Again, number 11, Haley Van Lith. You will hear that name plenty today. And if you follow college basketball, you're going to hear it plenty for the next few years. 5'9" senior wearing the number 11, averaging better than 30 points per game. Had a triple-double just the other night in which she had 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 steals. She is the real deal. Joining her out on the court tonight, number 12, Grace Hammond, is a 5'4" senior. Number 20, Peyton Brown, is a 5'6" junior post player. Number 23, Riley Johnson, 5'9" sophomore guard. And number 40, Grace Erdman, 6'1" senior post. They're led by Brent Darnell, head coach in his 7th year with the Cashmere Bulldogs. Coach looking for the Cashmere Bulldogs' first ever girls basketball state championship title. I asked one of the assistant coaches earlier, has the school ever won a girls basketball championship? And he said, no, not yet. So we'll see about that. Let's go ahead and give you the Kings starting lineup here while we're at it as well. Led by Dan Taylor in his 11th year as the head coach of the Knights. He's got Maya Floor, the 6'1" junior, wearing the number 5. 5'6", Ashley Gray wears the number 10. She's a senior. Daly Peterson is a 5'7" junior guard. She wears the number 22. Claire Gallagher is a 5'11" junior guard. And rounding out the team, former Bellevue Christian player Samantha Skaggs, a 6'3" junior. She wears the number 33. And finally, I get a chance to introduce the gentleman sitting to my right, Brian Peterson in the house, former head basketball coach here for the Kings Knights boys basketball program. He's coached at various schools throughout the league. Brian, this is a big game.
This is exciting. The crowd here is fantastic, and the anticipation just to see Haley with the whole team is pretty cool.
And we're going to get to see it right now. Kings winning the opening tip. They're wearing the dark gray uniforms. You don't normally see that with a home team. Cashmere wearing the all-white uniforms.
I think they both wore their alternate uniform last night and wanted to wear their
you got to wash it
today.
quick, right? Yeah, both teams in action last night. Both teams picking up victories here as Kings finding the double coverage there right off the bat.
It's a little 1-3-1 half-court trap, and they're going to try and set tempo, it looks like, right out of it.
And what we're going to get to find out right now, how do you stop Haley Van Lith? We've read an article. I know Todd Millis, who's sitting about 10 feet away from me, wrote an article earlier this week about the various ways to try to stop her. Everybody's tried something different. Nobody's been able to succeed yet. Let's see what she can do. She's number 11. She's out there on the right wing right now at the free throw line. There she is, her first shot of the game, 14 feet out off the back iron. Kings fans liking that. They're cheering a little louder than usual. And we're going to get a held ball, possession arrow going to Cashmere.
She's not going to make every shot, but
they kind of expect her to at this point, right?
Yeah, with her talent, you can expect her to make more than the miss. So
we will see. She has certainly racked up the accolades over the years. Gold medalist on various national teams.
Certainly
She's been a Gatorade Player of the Year. Yeah,
certainly the odds-on favorite to be the Player of the Year in the state this year.
And Peyton Brown's going to go to the free throw line to look for their first 2 points as Riley Johnson finding her on the play. Couldn't quite convert the basket. Draws enough contact, however, and we're going to get 2 free throws. And first shot off the mark. 48 seconds into the game, no score. I have been to plenty of big basketball games here at Mike Martin over the years. Never anything quite like this. First shot, or second shot up and in, the first point of the game, rather. Cashmere to the 1-0 lead.
Over the years, the homecoming game gets a big crowd because you get a lot of the little kids there that like to see the coronation, but not this.
Lith with a steal. There we go. Something else to add to her stat total there. We mentioned she had 10 the other night. for their first field goal of the game, swinging it around really nicely.
Interesting that Kings would come out in a zone and not having somebody right on Van Lith, so you go back to your...
And you know what? Grace Hammond jacking up the 3 ball, gets it to go. And hey, I guess, Brian, if they're going to try to take Haley out of the game, get her teammates going early, and all of a sudden you have to start paying more attention to them.
Yeah, and my comment about the zone is you looked at all those different defenses that people have tried against her. Straight up 2-3 zone probably is not the most average.
Skaggs down low, count the bucket. Nice job by Gray to find her underneath the post, and we've got our first time out of the game. 6:19 to go in the first quarter. 4-2 Cashmere. You're watching STSPN. To Mark Gym here in Shoreline, Washington, home of the Kings Knights. Big 1A girls basketball game. 2 top 5 teams in the state. Steve Willits, Brian Peterson, Todd Elvick, Sarah Elvick, along with the folks in the truck bringing you STSPN action. Thank you for tuning in. We're just underway here, our first time out of the game. Cashmere up 4-2 thanks to a 3-ball shot up by Grace Hammond. Haley Lith looking for her first points of the day. They're going to whistle the shot up. They're going to say she shuffled her feet, Brian.
Travel. I'm not sure I saw that.
I'm not sure Cashmere did either. They didn't seem overly happy with the call. And now we've got the Kings fanning chanting over. I do not. They might want to hold off on that cheer for a little while. It's still way too early in this game.
Yeah, no doubt.
Again, she is one of the more prolific players we've ever seen really at the state level, certainly in quite some time. Ball down low, double team, shot goes up, in and out. That was Maya Floor looking for her first points. Kicks it out, 3-ball up, swish! Claire Gallagher, all 5 of the Kings' points. The Knights with their first lead of the day, 5-4 score.
The Kings is still employing the 2-2-1 press as well, so they're going to make them, they're not going to just let them walk up the court and play. So despite the fact they don't have a special defense for her, they are pressing them. And
Grace Erdman going up for the shot there, and Samantha Skaggs saying, no, get that out of here. Then Skaggs alters that shot. Miss Lith 3-ball off the back iron, bounces around a couple times and falls through. Doesn't have to be pretty. It still counts the same, right?
It's a shooter's touch.
And we know she's got that touch. Her first points of the day, certainly probably not the last. 7-5 score. Cashmere and Kings, perhaps a preview of a game that could be played maybe in Yakima later on this year?
Well, I'm sure Lyndon Christian and LaSalle will have something to say about
well,
that.
Maybe for the title game. You never know where they might meet up, though, right? So we'll see that number 1 and the number 5. But you are right. There is not going to be a gimme for either of these 2 teams into that tournament this year once they get there. Van Lith, floater, missed it. Ball bounces around. They're going to say Floor steps out of bounds. We'll keep it right here with Cashmere basketball. 4:38 left in the first quarter. It is a tough 1A classification this year.
It is, and I think those 4 are probably the top. I don't think LaSalle is going to give up their championship very easily. Both these schools have played them already. The Cashmere beat them, and Kings lost big.
And we're going to get a whistle here right now. Claire Gallagher picking up her first. Mike Lloyd, Angela Smith, and Kendall Bateman are your officials today. Again, standing room only here in the gym. Not a seat to be had. We even got the stage going right now, which is where we're broadcasting the game from. A lot of the media members up here as well. 3-ball up. Count it! Grace Hammond saying, don't forget about me. You keep talking about Van Lith all season long. Suddenly, number 12, the 5'4" senior, one of Van Lith's best friends with 6 points, including 2 trays here in the opening quarter.
Looks like Cashmere's gotten out of the half-court trap and gone man-to-man now.
Skaggs using the backboard nicely. Her first points. You've seen Skaggs in the past.
I have. You cannot let her turn over her right shoulder. If you get on her baseline side and she turns over her left shoulder, she's a different player.
3-ball up. Hammond looking for another. Left that one a bit short. Fortunately for her, teammate gets the rebound. Three ball up. Rims in and out. That was Van Lith. Kings doing a nice job of chasing down the basketball. Home team down by 3, looking to perhaps get within 1 or tie here. 3:19 to go, first quarter. Cashmere making the 2-hour plus drive over from Highway 2 to get here today. Van Lith immediately double teamed. It doesn't matter, drives the hoop. Goes from right to left, layup, count it.
If you're going to double her in situations like that, somebody else is going to have to step in and deny that drive. You're probably hesitant to because your person may be open and then she can kick to a shooter because she's such a good passer.
A little bit of confusion there, too. It almost looked like the two stepped up to double her, then they both pulled off. Here we go, breakaway. Hammond layup in. Give Erdman the assist on the play. Grace Hammond with 8 points here in the first quarter. 14-7 lead, the largest of the day for Cashmere.
And Cashmere changes defenses on the fly, back to the 1-3-1 again. It settles into a 2-3, I think, and Kings it's always a difficult thing to try and adjust your offensive set on the fly as well. Defense is easier to make that change.
Ava Francisco checking in for the first time. Only a freshman, 5'8" forward, wearing that number 23 jersey.
Kings gives token pressure and backs into the 2-3. Sure, everybody knows where Van Lith is in the midst of that.
Is there a tendency when you have a player like Van Lith out on the court to almost forget about the other four? I mean, how do you coach against somebody like that?
It's too easy to forget about the other ones, and yeah, it's a huge mistake, especially when a team as talented as they are because they've got shooters all over the place.
And you saw right there Van Lith getting the double team, kicking it to Erdman, who airballs it. Kings basketball now. 3 ball up. Rims off. That was number 30, Claire Gallagher, looking for more points. She already has 5 in the opening quarter. We're going to let them play through that one. We're down to 1:35 left, first period.
That would be one of the ways that a team could beat Cashmere during the season, too, is if you have off shooting nights from some of the other girls and they don't fill their role very well. Because you know Van Lith probably going to go for her 30 a night.
Baseline left to right, kick it into the key. Erdman rims out. Can't find the inside of the cylinder. Kings looking to slow things down a bit. Claire Gallagher bringing up the basketball. The other thing that struck me about this Cashmere team, I was looking through some of their stats over the last couple of years. Their high point total this year is 69 points, with Van Lith with another steal. And we'll get to that stat here in just a moment. Van Lith into the lane, floater, count it. Van Lith here, kind of a quiet 7 points, if you will, in the first quarter here. 16-7 is our score. Their high total for the points on the year so far is 69 points. This is a team that 9 times last year passed the 70-point mark, 14 times the year before. I'm not sure if that's by design or not, as Skaggs puts in another 2.
I would not say that is a product of a changed roster. I would say that's probably a product of trying to incorporate more kids into the play and be prepared for the postseason by making sure that you've got everybody involved in the game, because you don't want Haley just to feel like she takes it over all the time, even though she might be capable.
Drives into the lane, nice no-look pass, down low, Erdman bucket.
That is a beautiful pass.
Van Lith waiting until the last possible second, if you will, drove the defense in, 3-pointer at the buzzer, no good, and we've come to the end of the first quarter. Cashmere Bulldogs, they're ranked number 1 in the state for a reason. They lead Kings 16-9. You're watching STSPN.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
And welcome back once again from Kings High School here in Shoreline, Washington. Girls 1A basketball, non-conference, but what a game it is. Steve Willits along with Brian Peterson, Todd Elvick, Sarah Elvick, and the rest of the crew. 18-9 first quarter score. Cashmere out on top by 9. Brian, anything surprising you in the first quarter?
Not really. I suppose that Kings seems to have settled in as best they can. They're going to struggle all day long. I think defensively both teams are a little bit better than I thought they would be, because you look at their offensive numbers and tend to think, oh, they must be really good offense. They're good defensive teams too.
Now Van Lith with 7 points. However, not the leading scorer right now. That would be this young lady, Grace Hammond, looking for more. Now Van Lith's going to be the high scorer. That's her 9th point. Now she moves ahead of teammate Grace Hammond, who has 8 on the night, and that makes it a 20-9 game, largest lead of the afternoon.
You mentioned that it's a non-conference game. If you look down their schedules, both.
Oh, Van Lith just picking the pocket, one-on-one, underneath, layup, count it. She is special.
If you look at their non-league schedules, you see that they've played Linden and LaSalle and Annie Wright and Mount Spokane and WF West between the two of them. It's just you have to, in the days of RPI, try to boost your RPI and make sure you can be in good position for the postseason.
Well, and you know this as a coach. RPI is obviously a huge factor, but even just to get these teams ready for districts and for state, Van Lith 3 misses it. Rebound coming down for Floor.
Absolutely, and you do not. Neither one of them are in extremely tough leagues top to bottom.
Right, yeah.
And so the non-league schedule is critical. This is a payback game for last year when Kings went over and played Moses Lake and Cashmere on back-to-back days. Moses Lake was here earlier in the season, and this is when I had earmarked to make sure I was at all the way back to last year, because Dan had told me that they would be here.
But certainly, and not to belittle some of the Caribou opponents and some of the North Sound opponents, but really to get yourself ready for that run you're going to go through, that gauntlet in Yakima, you need games like this in January.
I can tell you, when I was at Cascade Christian, Dan turned me down one year so he could boost his RPI a little bit, because we weren't as strong as they were.
Guess who? Van Lith, 16 feet out, 6 points here in the quarter alone, and we're not even 2 minutes in yet. She has 13 for the game. Very quietly, if you will, putting together a nice run here, and guess what? Picks the ball handler, easy layup, 8 points here in the quarter. She does that in a total of 113 seconds.
Oh my.
26-9 is our score, and we're going to keep it right here for a moment. Haley Van Lith doing Haley Van Lith things there, Brian.
You can't teach that stuff. It's instinct. It's a lot of repetition over the years. It's remarkable that she can do that without fouling. The average kid tries that and they get called for a foul because their hands aren't as quick. Their anticipation isn't as good. This is not a pushover team. This is a Kings team that's ranked number 5 in the state. Yeah. You've got solid point guards. They know it's coming, and yet guess what? She just puts her hand in there, and all of a sudden she's going the other way. Right. And it's hard to describe exactly how she does it, but she's been doing it for so long. She's very comfortable. 2019 Washington Gatorade State Player of the Year. She was the 2019 USA Today Washington Player of the Year. On the 2019 USA U18 3x3 World Cup team. She's got a Youth Olympic gold medal. She's got a FIBA gold medal from playing on national teams. She's just incredible. It's going to be really exciting watching her at the college level. Obviously, all the athletes up there are good. All the players up there have played in elite programs, good AAU programs, and things like that. I don't think she's going to be scared by she's not going to be intimidated in the least by it. She just seems to be focused on what she's doing, and I think she can take that right to Louisville. I was watching an interview she did recently. She described herself as saucy yet intense. She doesn't seem to fear too much as she's getting in the grill of Claire Gallagher right there. I kind of like that she can describe herself that way better than somebody else has to do it. Yeah, she owns it, which is great. Okay, we're going to get a foul called here on number 40. That's Erdman, her first. Only the first team foul against Cashmere here in the first half. We've only had 3 fouls total in the game. As soon as I say that, of course, it's the announcer's jinx, if you will. trying to feed the ball into Skaggs on a baseline out of balance play and having a little wrestling match in the post.
And Peyton Brown's going to be the wrestler that gets the foul called on her. That's going to reset the 30-second shot clock. Kings looking down low. Nice move towards the hoop there. Maya Floor getting on the board for the first time today. Mia now with 2 points.
One of the exciting things about this is both teams are so well coached. They're well schooled in what they're doing. You don't see any negative emotion because they've fallen down by 15. They come back and they execute as best they can.
Van Lith, another 3-ball, back iron, misses it. Skaggs pulls the rebound into the possession of the Kings players here. The Knights looking to push it on the other side of the floor. A little bit of a surprise there pass. I'm not sure Francisco was ready for that initially. Open look 3, off the backboard, count it!
Banks are open on Saturdays.
Apparently, it's not 5 o'clock yet. It's an early game. But Brenna Hart with her first bucket. Nice little 5-0 run there for Kings, and you mentioned it. This is the time where you get to kind of find out what you're made out of. Kings not used to being down this early in a game, and they go on a nice little 5-0 run.
One of the other things that's nice about this game is that it's late in the season, so we're just a matter of a week and a half, 2 weeks from starting playoff time, and they'll both finish up league play probably just fine, and we'll take lessons from this as they move into the postseason.
A couple of the starters back in the game now. Van Lith, where can you not miss from? 18 feet out, 10 here in the quarter, and we're just a little more than 3 minutes in.
Here comes the trap, and she goes to steal.
Here comes the steal. Van Lith breakaway, count it. 19 points here, and we're not even a quarter and a half into the game yet. 30-14 is our score. And she's doing it every which way right now. Outside, inside, steals, breakaways. Nice job by Kings moving the ball around. Erdman gets a hand up to no avail. Floor with a 3-ball. She now has 5 here in the quarter. Makes it a 30-17 game.
I do like that Cashmere has taken Van Lith off the point all the time. She doesn't need to handle the point all the time, so they get her to score in different places. The last 2 buckets, I think she's had from the free throw line area, and she's got it there right now.
Fakes the pass, goes up underneath, lays it in. This is a special talent here. This is a night where if you are here at the game and you're not used to seeing her play, which most of us here on the west side are not, 3-ball, Claire Gallagher. 8 points for number 30, makes it a 12-point game. I think this is one of those games you talk about 20, 30 years from now, and you tell your kids and your grandkids you watched a talent like Haley Van Lith do her craft.
I've been talking about her since I saw her as a freshman at Yakima.
Here we go again. Front iron, misses it. Erdman tracks it down. Van Lith says, I'm still open. She kicks it into the corner looking for an assist, and she's got the perfect complement to do so. Grace Hammond with her 3rd tray of the game. She has 11 points already. 35-20 is our score.
I really think that Cashmere will ride this defense to the title. They're offensively, there's no question. But they're changing defenses so much, and as an offensive player, you have to make this adjustment, and it's hard.
Hammond almost getting the steal there. Getting it back is number 10, Ashley Gray. Got a little conference here amongst the officials. Not sure what's going on here. I think we had a shot clock issue.
Reset, yeah.
A few different players checking in. Brenna Hart, the sophomore, checking back in for Kings. Millie Bruner, the 6-foot junior, checking in for Cashmere, as is. We had one other player out there, too, as well. Looked like number 44. Or she was number 44. Coming back in there.
Tried that same baseline out of bounds play, and this time it favored Cashmere.
Van Lith into the lane. Floater. Guess what? It's good. My score sheet right now being littered with 2-point baskets in the second quarter for Van Lith. Running out of space already. 37-20 is our score. 2:41 to go here, first half. Top-ranked, undefeated Cashmere Bulldogs facing the number 5 team in the state, Kings Knights. And there we go, another 3. That one over the top of the rim, misses everything. Coming away with it, Riley Johnson for Cashmere. Going to slow things up just a bit. Love the intensity, love the passion of the Kings fans over there in the corner. All the student body there standing up, enjoying themselves a game. Van Lith left that one just a bit short off the front iron.
And at the same time, Cashmere's traveled really well.
I was just going to say that too. You're absolutely right.
As well.
Kind of a fun trip for them too on a nice weekend. It was I can't speak to the weather on the other side of the mountains, but certainly over here today, nice day out. And
yeah, at least they could get across the pass, no problem.
Probably a lot better than it would have been a week or two ago, certainly, as it's going to turn back over to Cashmere.
They have a little bit of the we'll take on anybody, anywhere mentality. And again, partly because they've had some walkthroughs in their league, the opportunities to go play big schools outside their area, probably very helpful for them.
Ball gets away. Gallagher, the recipient, looking to push it. And she's going to get fouled on the way in. Nice balance, by the way, I wanted to point out for Kings here. Maya Floor averages 10.4 a game. Gallagher, the leading scorer on the year, 11.3. Skaggs with 9.7. Kind of nice when you can get that balance going there amongst the team.
No doubt. And you don't want to be, even though you've got somebody who's a superstar, you don't anticipate everybody else stepping up for Cashmere. And Kings has been a balanced team all year long. The times I've seen them this year, they've been very balanced. One of the other nice things I would note here is that we're in the last minute and a half of the.
Nice job by Gallagher going right to left. We just mentioned it. She's the leading scorer on the season. She's put together a 10-point first half so far.
We're in the last minute and a half of the first half, and we've only committed. There's only been 5 fouls committed. That tells you we got some smart teams out here.
Van Lith, unbelievable. Waste no time, by the way. Just gets down there, nice little floater, fade away on the left side.
You can keep shaking your head, but she's going to keep doing it.
The thing is, I knew she was going to do it before I got it. She's got 18 points in the second quarter right now, Brian.
Yeah.
That's in the quarter, not the half. The quarter.
When you're averaging 30 plus, you can probably expect you're going to be somewhere near half of that at halftime, and she is.
Well, and she's got a stage today too. I mean, you've got people in this gymnasium that have never seen her play, not only from the Shoreline community, but really from all over Western Washington.
I've seen some people here that are here just for this.
Absolutely.
They're not here necessarily for a girls basketball game. They're here to see her. She played in front of Kobe Bryant a few weeks ago when he showed up on Cashmere. I don't think she's intimidated by the atmosphere.
She's definitely not there. There's her 20th point of the quarter. Gets into the lane, started out over on the right baseline, drove into the lane, floats it up. Nothing you can do. You know it's coming. Yeah. Every Kings Knights player out on the floor knows what she's going to do. They're anticipating it. And she still just makes it happen every time. 41-22 is our score.
You try as a coach or as somebody who observes the game not to watch one player, and you almost can't take your eyes off her. And you can just see she's got laser beam focus. She doesn't look tired. She hasn't sat yet. She does it all.
And we're going to get another check into the game here. Number 23, Ava Francisco, the freshman coming back in for Ashley Gray.
I know Dan well. He's going to play a lot of kids. I don't think he's going to change his style. He wants those kids to be the kids 8, 9, 10 on the bench. He wants them to experience this atmosphere as a player too, in preparation for what's coming later.
Well, and a lot of this is not only for preparing for the state tournament. We got 11 seconds left in the half. He's got a young team, too. They're trying to get ready for next year in the process as well. Van Lith, 3. Fouled on the shot. That almost went in. She's going to get 3 free throw attempts coming up here.
So now we're going to get to see her shoot free throws.
And we haven't done that yet today.
Yeah, so you said she's scoring every other way. You haven't seen this one yet.
True story. Very good point. And it's not as though she doesn't get to the free throw line plenty. She hasn't needed to today. There's one.
But there's one thing we know about her is that she is well-schooled, well-taught, and you can see when she goes to the line, the routine that she's been going through probably for years. It's pretty simple, and a very fine jump shot.
She has 29 points here in the first half. One more free throw attempt coming up. Question becomes, if you've got a 22-point lead at the half, or it's 21 right now, how much does she play in the second half?
They're up 22 and she hasn't sat in the first half. I don't think they might spot her for a few minutes in the third quarter, but she's going to play into the fourth.
And a lot of it's about, like we've already said it before and we're going to reiterate it, it's about getting ready for state. And knowing that you're coming down to your last few games of the regular season, you kind of want her to get these minutes today. We're down to 1 second. She's got to get it up. Gallagher shot, partially blocked by Van Lith. Go figure. And we've come to the end of the first half, and what a half it's been. The Haley Van Lith show, she has not disappointed, folks. 30 points, 23 of which coming in the second quarter alone. We're going to take a break and come back. You are watching STSPN.
She has 30.
2003, Gamut 360 Holdings has been recognized as a premier local builder of new homes and commercial properties in the Puget Sound area. Our 360-degree construction approach matches first-class materials with the highest construction standards to create truly unique and timeless communities for our Northwest neighborhoods. Visit Gamut360.com and discover the home that matters most to you.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
I
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
am the god. And welcome back. I think that went over the air. There we go. Having a little fun here. Okay. Welcome back to Mike Martin Gymnasium here at Kings High School. What an incredible afternoon, if you will. Cashmere Bulldogs, we knew they were special coming into this game. We knew Haley Van Lith was phenomenal. I don't think we were expecting what we saw. 23-point second quarter. Trying to see what you're pointing out to me there. And joining us right now from Scorebook Live Washington, Todd Millis. Todd, you cover girls basketball all throughout the state. You've seen some of the more highly touted players in the area. What did you make of what you just watched in that second quarter?
I'd like to ask the people that say she's not a natural scorer, what are they watching? Seriously.
Well, how much more of a natural scorer could you be?
I mean, her mid-range, it's obvious she loves the middle of the lane. She's got a beautiful fall-away shot. I mean, yeah, she didn't hit the three-point shot in that first half, and she obviously likes to get out and run and survey the court and make some things happen that way. But like you said, 23 points in that second quarter. I think she's a natural scorer.
Well, we're thinking she might be a top 10 player in the nation right now. That's what she's ranked. I mean, I know. I think one of the Prospects Nation, I think, has her down as like the number 2 player in the class of 2020. ESPN top 8. Have you had a chance to kind of analyze her game compared to other girls in the on a national level?
Yeah, just for this half. No, I mean, yeah, I've been fortunate to get out and watch a lot of different. Her style's very unique. I thought she was going to handle the ball a little more, but she plays off the ball. She likes to play in the middle of their zone offense, which I think's a really smart move because she's so explosive. She can get up her shot up against anybody, and she's got that free throw, that 15-footer dialed in. Now, have I seen more natural? I mean, where the shot looks pure and it never touches the. I mean, I've seen those type of players before. There's a young lady at Chiawana, Leah Vaughn. Olafin. She's a junior. She's also a nationally ranked player. She's played with Haley in AAU. She's fantastic. She's probably more of a, if you put her on different spots on the floor, her scoring shows up wherever. But she's not quite the distributor and the menacing presence on defense. I mean, that young lady from Kings is a really good athlete, number 30.
Yeah, Claire Gallagher. Yeah, absolutely.
Claire Gallagher. And for her to just sort of pick her pocket and go the other way twice like that. Yeah. Was pretty impressive. The pressure she obviously applies on both ends of the floor is very, very unique.
You wrote a great article this week that I used to reference things as I was getting ready for this game. You talked to 4 different coaches on how to try to stop her. And everybody had their own idea as to what they could maybe do, maybe apply this defense or try this or tweak their defense a little bit to do that. And in each case, she still got her points. She still had her successes. Mount Spokane defeated her, but they certainly are loaded with a lot of more different. That was last year, I should point out, too, not this year. What did you come away with from that article in terms of what each coach had to say to her, and what have you seen out here that you've thought about as you've been watching this game?
Yeah, it's 4 different coaches at 4 different levels across the state, 3A all the way down to Linden Christian, who's probably the other 1A state favorite at this point. A lot of it was it can work. It works in spurts, but it doesn't. What we do, we have to change it up because she figures it out eventually. What was interesting was the teams that I talked to that had rangy athletes, like a Linden Christian, like a Mount Spokane, wanted to play her straight up with her athletes. As you can see, those were the 35, 40-point games. The teams that like to play zone, maybe she was more of a 25-point, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. I mean, you're picking your poison. Do you want her to be just a scorer and play her straight up, or do you want to play her zone and watch her just fill up the stat sheet with other stuff? Mm-hmm. I mean, if I were a coach, and I'm not, and my good friend here is and was for a long time at Cascade Christian, I'll tell you this much. I wouldn't give her the middle, and I sure as heck wouldn't play her straight up. Yeah.
At times, she's not only has she had the middle, she's taken the middle. They're not trying to give it to her. She's just flat out going, you know what? That's my space. I'm going to drive you in there, and I'm going to put up a little 12-footer, and it's going to go in every time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. She said, my space. It's red. It might be on your court and it might be your color, but this is my space.
Well, quite frankly, what we saw in the first 16 minutes, it's not only that space, it's the entire floor. She pretty much owns it. Hey, Todd, again, thank you for coming on with
Absolutely.
us. I know you've had a chance to analyze her and watch her. And if anybody's out there listening right now, high school basketball fans in general in the state of Washington need to be following you guys. What's the website?
Just Google it, Scorebook Live Washington. It's free content. My buddy over here, Andy Bueller, my colleague, covers the boys. I'm primarily the girls' basketball contact. We love what we do, and I hope it shows up in our writing.
And that speaks to how good Haley Van Lith is. Andy came out to watch the game, and he covers the boys for the most part.
Absolutely.
There we go. Todd, thanks again for your time. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Good to see you, Todd.
once again to the Haley Van Lith show here on STSPN.com. Okay, maybe that's not fair to our teammates, but my goodness, what a first half we just witnessed. Again, if you're just tuning in, the Cashmere Bulldogs, ranked number 1 in the state, 15-0 and looking for their 16th consecutive victory. Haley Van Lith, the senior, 30 points in the first half, 23 of which came in the second quarter alone, and now we're just about ready for the second half of action. I guess the only question now might be, does Van Lith go for a record tonight? 53 points is her career high. We'll keep an eye on how things play out here. Yeah. And as we pointed out earlier also, Cashmere doesn't have more than 69 points in the game this year. 44 in the first half. We're underway. Skaggs missing the opening shot there.
And Van Lith grabs the rebound. There's a shocker.
There's another stat for her. Haley Van Lith pulling back out a little bit. 3 ball up in the air, off the mark. That was Hammond with the attempt. Gonna get a tie up there, whistle called. Open. We're gonna get our first timeout of the second half as Brent Darnell, realizing that his player had the ball initially, calls a 30-second. We'll take a quick break. You're watching STSPN. Once again from Mike Morton Gym. We should point out the individual scoring totals for the first half. They won't take very long for Cashmere. Haley Van Lith, 30 points. Grace Hammond with 11. So if you're keeping track, that's 41 of the team's 44 points. Peyton Brown with 1 free throw, and Grace Erdman with the other 2. We'll get you caught up on here on Kings momentarily too. Let's do that real quick while they bring the ball up the floor. Brenna Hart with 3 points in the first half. Skaggs with the ball into the lane, misses it, left a little short. Erdman grabs it to Van Lith. Maya Floor had 5 points in the first half. Claire Gallagher leading all Kings players with 10. Van Lith's about to head to the free throw line for 2 attempts. And then rounding out the scoring for Kings, Samantha Skaggs with 4 points.
I would like to mention at halftime I received a text message from Brady Bomber at Linden Christian, who is obviously watching the game online.
I had a feeling Brady might be watching this today.
He's probably not the only one around the state watching this. It's a good scouting opportunity. Did I just say that, recruiting?
And guess what? Haley's human. She just missed a free throw attempt. So what was Brady's assessment? Did he anything we can talk?
He did not say. He said you and I are having fun. That's an understatement.
Yeah, I don't know if Brady's enjoying this as much as we are. Oh, I'm sure he loves to watch good basketball. He's put together just a fantastic program there as well.
Yeah, and he probably will see Kings in the playoffs certainly before he would see Cashmere. But
well, he and Roger DeBoer both just phenomenal teams, always vying for state titles.
I texted with Roger last night, and he has a game today, so otherwise he'd probably be listening and laughing at me.
He might be checking in a little. I don't think he's laughing at you. You're doing a fantastic job. It's Ashley Gray getting on the board for the first time today. And the steal for Haley Peterson, looking for the breakaway. Van Lith coming out of nowhere. Putting a little pressure, but nicely done by Peterson. Puts on the brakes, lets 2 defenders fly by her, and lays it up and in. And the Kings fan base still cheering on their team. I think they recognize that this team has had a great deal of success. They're going to have plenty more this year.
But they're not going to use the overrated chant.
No, I think that was we should point that out. That was pretty funny. And there we go again. Van Lith, outstanding pass down low. Peyton Brown converts the bucket and gets fouled. She's going to head to the line.
I don't think I could make that pass. That was pretty.
Yeah, we talk about all these buckets that she puts in, but that was a D1 pass right there.
That was 30 feet on a dime. Good golly.
Offensive board, both players wanting it there. Unfortunately, they're on the same team. Brown and Erdman taking one another out. Yeah, if you tuned in late, Haley Van Lith, I think missed her first, 3-point attempt of the game. Didn't score for the first 2 minutes, and at some point when she missed a shot, the Kings student body, as we're going to get a travel call here in Kings, the Kings student body started chanting overrated. And guess what? Over the course of the next 14 minutes of play after that, she scored 30 points.
Oh, goodness. You got to love high school kids.
You do, yeah, right. Hey, for the most part, they've been very respectful. Kings is obviously a great school that takes a lot of pride in sportsmanship, and the folks here, Bob Ruhlman, the principal, and Rick Skeen and some of the others, they know their basketball, they know their sports, and they do like to get the cheers going from time to time.
Well, the superintendent is sitting right behind us right now, and he's the one that got the girls basketball program moving, has 3 state titles, and Dan, of course, has the one a few years ago. And really built his program to what it is on the girls basketball level.
He knows a thing or two about girls soccer too, doesn't he?
I think so.
Rasmussen, his daughter, playing on that state championship team, I think.
Yes, she was.
A couple years ago there, and we're going to have the shot clock expire.
He had a daughter that played for Dan a few years back too, and she was not on the state title team. I think she graduated before that.
Kings bringing the basketball up the floor here. Should point out, Cashmere, looking at their schedule, they have 4 more games coming up before the CTL championship. 2 of those 4 games are coming up against Okanagan. I'm guessing that might have been a makeup game of some sort. They play them on back-to-back Tuesdays.
They play each of them 3 times in their league, if I remember correctly.
Oh, you're right. They do play them each other 3 times as they start to look through there.
They cross over, I think, still with the Northeast League in district play or crossover games or something. They might get pressed a little bit by Medical Lake, but if nothing else, a chance to see some other teams because they play those teams in their conference so many times.
Yeah, 3 consecutive home games coming up for them. Starting on Tuesday, they play OMAC, 5:45 start time. Okanagan, Cascade, and then Okanagan again on the road. That's on February 11th before we start to get into league play.
I would think the senior night is going to be quite a night for all the town of Cashmere.
You think some people might be there that night?
I think so.
I think you might be
show
right.
Great appreciation for her and everything she's done for them.
Nice pass down low. Skaggs not only getting the boards and making baskets, showing off her passing ability there as Peterson gets a bucket. 17-point games. Kings continues to hang out a little bit here, and now we're going to get a timeout. Brent Darnell says, I think we need to regroup here. Only 3 points here in the 3rd quarter. We'll take a break as well. You're watching STSPN.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
And welcome back again to Mike Martin Gym here in Shoreline, Washington, on the campus of Kings High School. It is the Kings Knights and the Cashmere Bulldogs. Steve Willits, Brian Peterson, Todd and Sarah Elvick, and the rest of the crew. And Brian, we were just having a conversation during the break. Even the officials enjoy games like this. They get to have a big-time moment.
They're human, too. They see the moment, and they understand, and they just hope they don't make a bad call, a mistake, or something along the way.
Van Lith 3, in and out. Still looking for her first field goal of the second half. Still looking for Cashmere's first field goal of the second half, and we're more than 3 minutes in right now. Claire Gallagher's spin move misses it. You were talking to Mike Lloyd before the game. He's not even from...
He's from more down toward the south end than he is up here. Sometimes they want to get officials moved around. We have a significant official shortage in the state, and I'm not saying that's why he's up here. I'm just saying that...
Van Lith! That stutter step, the fake pull back out 14 feet out, just impressive. 33 points for her.
I think anytime officials do a game and they're not the center of attention or something, game has been called just fine, has been consistent, I think.
Well, I've had plenty of conversations with officials, and they liked, after the end of the season, they like to talk about the players they were able to see firsthand and who they watched. And Grace Hammond, another 3. Her 4th of the night so far, 14 points.
They are basketball aficionados. They've played the game somewhere along the way. They've ref for a long time. They want to be in those types of games too. They have competitive juices that say, I'd like to, ref a state title game or a big game sometime. They all do.
Skaggs with the ball into the left corner there, kicks it back out. Ashley Gray, who initially had it. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Nice pass by Gray down low. Peterson getting denied by Riley Johnson. Nice block, and then Johnson finally comes away with the steal on the errant pass. Here comes Van Lith. Little shake and bake, knocks your player off balance, fires it over the cylinder, and now we're going to get an air ball chant. You know what? Every 33 points, if she gets an air ball, I think that's all right.
I think that's fine. You know, the other thing you should mention about the Kings rosters, they're playing without Jada Wynn, who
absolutely
is arguably the best player. She's only a sophomore. Of course, her mother is and father are coaching at the University of Washington. They miss her. It's noticeable. Not that they're not a good team without her, but when you lose somebody of that caliber for the majority of the season, it hurts your lineup.
I don't care who you are. If you're missing one of your top players, even if you're a deep team, you always feel the effects in some way, shape, or form.
Well, we happened to play Kentridge last night on the girls' side, and they lost their best player, who's going to USC, to a torn ACL. They're good. They're very good. But obviously you don't want to head to the late part of the season in playoffs without somebody of that caliber who won a state title and has placed every year in high school.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal player. Already has a state title to her name.
Yeah.
Gray makes the first, misses the second. 52-29 score. Just the environment in here right now. If you see some of it on camera, others you don't. We're up on a stage right now, overlooking the court. We've got various basketball players from around the area standing behind us. As you mentioned, media members. We have Scorebook Live, a couple of their guys here. The Everett Herald right down the way here. King 5 was in the house earlier with their camera getting part of this game. Northwest Ballers.
Yeah, how many photographers along the end line there? There is a parent over in the corner from Kings whose son graduated probably 15 years ago, and he's a basketball junkie, and he's here watching this one.
Going to call an offensive foul there. We're going to go the other way. And who would that be?
His name is Daryl Rosendahl. He had a son and 2 daughters who played here. I think the youngest probably graduated in 2003 or 4, and he's
son played ball up in Western, didn't he? Or?
I believe he did.
Okay.
I had a daughter that went to California, I believe. I can't remember.
Definitely some talent in the Kings family, that's for sure. Plenty of great alums along the way. One of which, Corey Kispert, doing a heck of a job over at Gonzaga right now.
My son and I were joking on the way up about, I wonder if Corey will show up for this one. He could fly over. It's 45 minutes. He's got a game at 7 o'clock. He can make it work.
I think Corey's got a few other things that are preoccupying his mind these days, including perhaps trying to get those Bulldogs to a Final Four.
It was interesting. Dan Blackmer, the former athletic director and PE teacher here, had told me when he saw him in junior high, he said he will be the best player ever to come out of Kings High School. And that was saying a lot from guys like JoJo Buchanan back in the day and some others.
Shot clock violation. I'm not sure that Peterson recognized what was going on there. That's going to turn the ball back over to Cashmere. I guess that's one way to keep the ball out of Van Lith's hands is to just dribble it out for 30 seconds.
A tenacious defense will cause you to do some things you don't really want to do.
Skaggs is going to come back in. Yes, Todd Helbig pointed out she's not on the court anyway, so it didn't really matter. But, yeah, your one opportunity to get her and you run the shot clock out.
She had a break at halftime.
Like I said, only 3 points in the quarter. That's almost a season low for her. Nice job by Erdman going into the lane, putting it up, draws contact, and she'll head to the line for 2.
It's interesting to see how they can attack the middle of that zone on the dribble. They get it to the high post there, and then Van Lith had gone to her left. This time we see her go to her right, and usually you'd think you can't dribble through the zone like that, and they've been able to get to the rim and draw fouls or get buckets.
Erdman misses the first shot. So realistically, what are you seeing at the girls' side for 1A at the state tournament? I mean, Cashmere and Linden Christian, is it fair to say, clear-cut favorites right now? LaSalle certainly would probably want to have something to say about that. But
without a doubt. I've seen Meridian. I've seen Montesano. The south end of Seattle area. Annie Wright is good. I'm not sure they have the depth and the
they're young
the
too,
experience.
aren't they?
They're very well.
Chris Spivey putting together a nice team.
Juliana Walker can shoot it with anybody, and she probably averages 33, 34 a game. But they don't have the depth of a roster, and they won't have played the competition. Even though they've played a pretty stiff schedule, they lost a girl to a torn ACL, and they've done just fine.
Grace Hammond again. Can't say it enough. It's not just Haley that's putting up the points tonight. Grace with 5 3-pointers here.
She is a very fine second player after Van Lith.
Yeah, indeed. We've got a 27-point lead for Cashmere, their largest of the night. We're going to take another quick break. You're watching STSPN.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop.
And welcome back again to Mike Martin Gymnasium here on the campus of Kings High School in Shoreline, Washington. Steve Willits along with Brian Peterson, Todd Elvick, Sarah Elvick, and all the folks working out in the truck. We continue to cover the big game of the weekend here. It is the Cashmere Bulldogs, ranked #1 in the state, undefeated, taking on the 5th-ranked Kings Knights. And if you're just joining us, you missed one heck of a first half. You need to go back and watch it at some point. Haley Van Lith, one of the top players in the nation, with 23 second-quarter points, 30 in the first half. And to go along with Grace Hammond, who also has 17 points for Cashmere, and they've built themselves a 27-point lead here late in the third quarter and looking to expand upon that right now. They are wearing the white uniforms. Kings wearing the dark gray uniforms, even though they're the home team. Grace Hammond looking for another point. Can't get it to go. Ermond with the offensive board, misses it, gets her own rebound, and she's going to slow things down a bit. Shot clock and game clock 1 second differential right now, and they might just play it out here.
You got to wonder if this is indicative of the difference between #1 and #5. I realize there's some other teams in there that are very good, but this is on #5's home court. And
that's crossed my mind.
20.
I think we're definitely, and we saw that even with LaSalle defeating Kings by over 20, and there might be a little bit of a discrepancy once you get below that #3 mark around there. Interesting that she missed the shot with 2 seconds to go. The rebound came down. The clock stopped. It never went to a buzzer. They were able to get another attempt up, and now they're just going to the referee finally comes over, picks up the basketball and says, you know what, I know the clock says 0.5. That's the end of the quarter. And so it is. We've got 8 more minutes to play. It's going to be interesting to see if Van Lith comes back in, and she's checking in as we speak. Do not go anywhere, folks. 27-point game. We're going to finish this one out. Storyline, how many points does Van Lith end up with? And we're certainly looking forward to a post-game player of the game interview, and I think we already know who that's going to be. We'll be right back. You're watching STSPN.
Since 2003, Gamut 360 Holdings has been recognized as a premier local builder of new homes and commercial properties in the Puget Sound area. Our 360-degree construction approach matches first-class materials with the highest construction standards to create truly unique and timeless communities for our Northwest neighborhoods. Visit Gamut360.com and discover the home that matters most to you.
And we are ready for the fourth quarter of action here from Mike Martin Gymnasium at the campus of Kings High School. Steve Willits, Brian Peterson, Todd and Sarah Elvick. And we are into the fourth quarter of play. Haley Van Lith checking back into the game. She's on the floor after taking a 3 or 4 minute breather, and immediately she's going to get herself an assist. No, she's not. Riley Johnson's shot rolling in and out. Van Lith with 33 points. And if you missed it earlier, she had 23 points alone in the second quarter. And they've got her back out on the floor. Now her career high is 57, by the way. And the intensity and the atmosphere in the gym a little bit more subdued right now than it was early on in the game.
They're probably all in awe of what they've seen and have nothing to say.
And like I said, I mean, I've watched my share of games, and I've seen girls go off and have big games and big nights. And even with Haley, who you expect it from, to just see it for the first time and to watch what she was able to do in one quarter. And you think about it, I mean, you mentioned it briefly earlier. We didn't really get a chance to elaborate on it. Kobe Bryant came to Cashmere to watch her play this year. That's unheard of. Nice job there, Floor, getting the bucket.
Yeah, it's my understanding that she went down to work out at Kobe's gym down there and became friends with Kobe's daughter, and one thing led to another. I'm going to assume they flew into Wenatchee or something. And
I was going to say, Cashmere's not exactly right next to a major airport.
No, it's not that easy to find in some place.
Not as though Kobe had business to do in the Wenatchee area. And very Kobe-esque. I mean, Kobe, 81-point game once upon a time against the Toronto Raptors, the second most points ever in an NBA basketball game. She kind of did a little Kobe of her own there with 23 and a quarter.
And the great thing that he did that night is he tried to be unassuming, which isn't going to happen in social media. Everybody's going to be texting everybody in town and around to show up. But he went into the opposing team locker room and took pictures with them as well. It was primarily about Haley. There was some other recognition that he gave too, which is good for him.
Those girls will never forget that night.
No, absolutely not. And their pictures are going to be on their walls for a while.
Van Lith looking to push coast to coast. Underhand scoop, right-handed layup, misses it. Rebound coming up with it. That was number 44, Bruner. We're going to slow things down here a bit and kick it back out. Erdman, 16 feet out. Hits off the back iron, bounces around a little bit, and finally coming away with it is Daly Peterson. Kings basketball. And the pass goes out of bounds. 6:21 to go. They're going to say it was last touched by Cashmere.
I think one of the best things you can say about a player, any player, is do they make their teammates better? And there is no question that's one of the great attributes that she has. She just makes those people around her so much better.
And we've got a 30-second timeout. We'll go ahead and take a quick break. You're watching STSPN.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
6:21 to go here in the fourth quarter. All Cashmere Bulldogs. 56-31 is our score. Kings looking to close it out strong. Three ball up. Swish! Brenna Hart, her second tray of the day. Can almost say night. We're getting close to 5 p.m. here. 56-34, a day game here. Cashmere traveling 125 miles to get here. I'm sure they're appreciative of the fact that they don't have to do a whole lot of night driving this evening. Van Lith, three. Still does not have a field goal here in the second half. And we're going to get a travel called on Hart, turning the ball back over to Cashmere. A little bit of confusion here with the officiating crew. I think we're wiping up some perspiration on the floor there.
I don't know if that's perspiration. We might have a drip coming through the ceiling because that's the same one they were dealing with a little bit ago.
Yeah, a drip coming through the ceiling is never a good thing. Hopefully we'll get that resolved here in a moment. Referee's getting a nice round of applause in the corner there from the Kings student body. That crew earning their keep tonight. Yeah, Mike Lloyd, Angela Smith, Kendall Bateman.
And again, a very clean game for the most part. I think they've let the kids play. I don't think it's been overly physical or unfair one way or the other. I think it's been a really solid game by them as well.
Yeah, clean. It's gone quickly. Like you said, you haven't really seen anybody get in foul trouble thus far. Hammond looking for another three. It's up. That would have been her sixth of the night. Nice job by Bruner coming away with the offensive board. New 30-second clock. Corner shot, three ball up. Nothing but net. Riley Johnson getting on the board for the first time. 59-34 score, 5:25 to go, fourth quarter.
If I'm not mistaken, that may be the superintendent's daughter, Glenn Johnson, who's sitting over in the stands. Has been a huge Cashmere supporter for years.
Oh, and give a nice shout out to Floor there, showing that Van Lith isn't the only one that's going to break ankles there tonight. Gets the defender on the ground, lays it in. She now has 9 points on the game. So we go underneath the 5-minute mark. Van Lith going strong to the hoop. Floater, good, 35 points.
That is a tough shot to make because she did not use the backboard, and it's hard to get it to float just right to get a drop through the hoop. In that case, no rim. Running to the basket on a baseline side is a tough shot to make.
Yeah, hard off a dribble. Those are always a little more in terms of the degree of difficulty.
Your body's momentum is carrying you in such a way that you can't just float it up very easily unless you're really skilled.
And that's hours and hours of practice and thousands upon thousands of shots right there. I have a feeling that Haley and Dad have worked on that one a few times. 15-footer in and out.
Just go watch the videos online. You'll see plenty of it.
Kings looking to slow it down a bit. Louisville, Kentucky, of all places, too. The Cardinals are getting a special one.
Became the #1 team in the country just a few days after her announcement, I think, and have since been beat. But women's college basketball has been a little bit like men's this year, rotating who's going to be the #1 team.
And she's one of 2 top 10 prospects that they're getting next year. They're also getting Olivia Cochran from Georgia, 6'3" post player.
It's kind of fun when you get kids like that come from outside your area because you just don't know them very well. And you come in, University of Washington gets kids from New York, for instance, and it's just fun to see those kids. You get to know kids in your state, but maybe not around the state, around the country as well.
What a culture shock, too, I've got to think, for her. And
yeah, Kentucky's very different than Cashmere, Washington.
Indeed, and not exactly right down the street either.
No.
Coach Darnell says, I want another quick timeout. 3:42 to go. We'll take a break. Oh, we're going to keep it right here for this one. So, again, we continue to look around the gym here. Just watched Shannon Grandboyce and some of her team leaving a minute ago, the head coach for Marysville Getchell. I've seen a few different coaches walking into the gym today.
I saw a coach from Gig Harbor earlier, and he was looking forward to it. I talked to one of my former players who's also an assistant now at Cascade Christian. She was here before the JV game because she didn't want to miss it.
And Grandboyce with her daughter Maddie, who's already signed to play at Central Washington next year. So I'm sure it's even fun for her to bring your daughter into an environment like this and go, that's who you might want to emulate a little bit. And they have similar games too. So I can see where, just as a fan of the game, as somebody who's a student of the game, and for her sake, wanting to come in and to analyze her and to evaluate what she's doing and perhaps take a little bit of that into your own game. Easier said than done, obviously. If we could all do it, we'd all be Haley Van Lith, and we're not.
The thing that we don't always see is what that work ethic has been like in the summertime, out of season, those types of things that she does that might really set her apart from everybody else.
14-footer missed it, and you're right. And all you have to do is type her name into YouTube, and you can see just video upon video of her. And I was watching a video earlier today that Slam Magazine has of her working out with her dad. Nice job by Skaggs. The video is 10 months old, and it already has over 800,000 views. So certainly people around the country very well aware of that. But if you want to, if anybody's out there watching right now, if you've got a daughter or a son who plays basketball at a young age and you want them to get better and you want to know how to work on their game, type in Haley Van Lith. Just go to YouTube, type it in, watch the videos, and maybe pick up a few things here and there along with the lines of what she's doing.
Well, there's the old adage that
floor down low. She has 6 points in the fourth quarter here, 10 for the night.
That hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. She's got both. She not only has talent, but you can tell by the videos and by her way she plays that she works hard. That's a great combination for.
And there's another bucket for her. I'll add one other thing, too, the psychological part of the game.
Yeah.
The confidence level, just listening to her talk.
You can see the way she carries herself.
Yep.
Yeah.
37 points on the night, by the way, after that last basket.
I am impressed with both teams and their demeanor. Nobody sensing frustration from being ahead or a mistake, a turnover, or something like that. You can see there's a maturity about them that has them ranked 1 and 5 for obvious reasons.
Skaggs only a junior and hitting a 14-footer there. she's going to be quite the player in the future. Already is, but I'm impressed with what I've seen from her. Van Lith, all of a sudden she starts to heat up again.
She started at Bellevue Christian as a freshman, and I got to deal with her, and we struggled because she's just long. She changes shots. She's got a nice touch and certainly can rebound.
And she's got a little bit of an outside game too when need be. I mean, it's not, and we've seen that a little bit. High post there, kicks it out into the corner. Baseline floater, nice job. Daly Peterson, 6 points this afternoon. 65-44, we're now down to a minute 30 to play in this game. Van Lith slowing things down a bit. And again, we're going to try to catch up with Haley right after the game and get an interview. She is, in fact, our Adrenaline fundraising player of the game today.
It appears if they're going to pull it out a little bit, they're going to have another game in the 60s.
Yeah, again, it's has not passed the 69 mark yet this year. Still a little bit of time here to maybe do something, but doesn't look like it's going to happen now. Nice job by Coach Darnell and his staff. Again, Cashmere still looking for their first ever state title. Second place, third place, second place in Van Lith's tenure there.
I think you can count on the fact that whoever they play anywhere in the playoffs, they're going to get their best effort. Whether they've got the talent, the ability to beat them, that's a different question. But you're, oh my gosh, you cannot take them lightly in the least.
And we're going to get another substitution there as Peyton Brown checking out for the last time today. 42 seconds remaining in the game.
This has been so enjoyable. I hate to see it end. I can't believe it's gone this quick.
Well, Brian, thanks for doing this for us. Again,
It's
chance
my
to meet
pleasure.
you for the first time just about 30 minutes before the game started here, and we're going to get another quick timeout. We'll keep it here for a moment.
I get to do a little public address as an athletic director, but that's not as much fun as this, because there you have to communicate and keep stats and all that kind of stuff. This is just offer a few opinions and thoughts along the way. It's kind of fun.
And for a guy like you, you've coached, and let's look over your resume. You coached at Kings here for, 11 seasons? As a boys basketball coach.
Here, I was the head coach here for 9 years. I've coached for 35 years, boys and girls, varsity, and I just can't think of anything else I'd rather do. My son is sitting across the way, and he probably sat in those same seats once upon a time when I was coaching here. He did not miss a state tournament until he was a sophomore in college, and that's when he moved to Southern California. And he's got it on his calendar already to make sure we're in Yakima the first week of March every year. Makes it fun now, and he's up in his 30s, and we still carry on these conversations about basketball, and he wasn't going to miss this one.
It's a great bonding experience, isn't it?
Basketball's been huge. I got to coach with him for 3 years when I was at Cascade, and that was some of the best time. We won a huge comeback game at the state tournament. We got a great picture on my desk at home of him and I hugging after we came back from down 24 in the fourth to win.
Ooh. Sorry, I wish you would have told me that earlier. I'd say I would have asked you if there's still a chance here, but I guess with 37 seconds left, we don't have to. Not so much.
Wasn't
right?
an opponent of the caliber of Cashmere.
You didn't come back on 24 on.
No.
Haley Van Lith and her teammates, huh?
Nope.
And there's Van Lith with one more steal. Why not? Let's just keep adding to the totals there. Unfortunately, we did not have a statistician tonight, so we don't have the official totals on her steals. She's getting up there, though.
She's got to have 7 or 8, I would think.
I was thinking
least.
about the same number that you are there. Most of which led to breakaway lay-ins. 5 seconds left here. King's still putting a little pressure on there. Van Lith going to dribble it out or just hold it there. Cashmere runs their record to 16-0 in the season. They're still going to hold on to that number 1 ranking. Haley Van Lith, 37 points. Your final score, the Cashmere Bulldogs, 65. The Kings Knights, 44. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to look to interview our player of the game and wrap things up a little bit. You're watching STSPN.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
And welcome back to STSPN. Once again, the final score. Cashmere defeats Kings 65-44. And joining us, our Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game. Surprise, surprise, right? Haley Van Lith, 37 points. It's a great game in itself, but I want to ask you about that second quarter. You had 23 alone in the second quarter. Talk a little bit about what you were expecting from Kings coming in and what started clicking in that second period.
Kings is always a really good program. They're very well coached. They have girls that are always skilled. So I knew it was going to be a good game. And I just wanted to focus on keeping it simple and doing what I do good and just hitting my teammates for the right shots, and everything just happened to go in that quarter. So
now, I got to have a little fun with you on this question. You missed your first three-point attempt of the night. You're human. You're allowed to miss every once in a while. The fans over here gave you a little overrated chant. Yeah. Then you went out and put on 30 the rest of the half. That had to feel kind of good.
That's nothing new for me. I kind of love it. So when people do that, it actually is going to hurt them because I feed off that stuff. But my teammates and us came out to play today, and Kings played a great game, but we just executed our game plan.
Talk about the importance of a game like this late in the season. Obviously, you're playing in that Caribou League. You see them plenty. To get an opponent like this, of as comparable as they are, a top 5 opponent, and to play them this late in the season, it's got to be nice for you to kind of get that under your belt heading into the tournament too.
Yeah, we played a pretty tough tournament in Portland, and we played well, and so we were feeling good, and we just wanted to come out and play good again against a really good team. And I think that just shows how strong we are as a whole and as a team, and everyone can score and everyone can play defense. So I'm really excited for state. What
was the atmosphere like here today? Obviously, you don't get a chance to play in Western Washington as much during the season. We saw coaches from all across Western Washington here. The media's out in droves. I'm sure you're getting used to that a little bit, but to come over to this side of the mountains and to play a game like this has to be kind of exciting for you too. What is the atmosphere like in comparison to some of the other games you played this year?
Well, Cashmere, we like to pack a gym, so our home games are always like this, but it was really cool to see the West Side come out and watch us, because I know there's a lot of hype about us out here. Not a lot of people get to see us play. But we love big crowds, and we love the energy. And even if most of the people in here are cheering against us, we still love a packed gym and to play in front of people. So it was really fun for us.
And for the folks around here that are watching that maybe don't always get a chance to see you, the story with Kobe Bryant coming and watching you at Cashmere this year, how special was that? And what did that mean to you when he came out there to watch?
Yeah, so I've known Kobe for a little bit now, and he promised me he was going to come to one of my games, and I was like, yeah, okay, like, whatever. And he actually showed up, and I just think it's really cool what he's doing with girls basketball, and I really appreciate it, and I'm definitely a big fan.
So when did you know he was going to show up at the game?
I knew about a week before, but we tried to keep it a secret, but, the word gets around, so it blew up a little bit. But me and my teammates had a great experience with him, and it was awesome.
I wanted to ask you also about the commitment to Louisville and finally getting that off your plate. What did that mean for you to finally get that decision in, and talk a little bit about the decision?
Yeah, so I waited for my decision till the end, and I don't know what's going on behind me here. Yeah, it was really good. Coach Jeff Walls coached me in Team USA this summer. And so I kind of knew, he was the coach for me. I fit really well into their system. And it felt really good just to get it off my plate. And now I know where I'm going, and I'm in love with it. So
very good. I wanted to ask you one more question, too. In terms of the scoring output this year, we were talking about this during the broadcast. Your team has yet to break the 69-point barrier for the season. It's a barrier that you broke through on 9 times last year, 14 the year before. Is that somewhat by design this year? Is it more about trying to focus on defense, or talk a little bit about that?
No, yeah, we're definitely a defense-first team. Coach has really harped on us, defense. And it's panned out to be a really good strength for us this year. So we're going to keep going with what we're good at, and we're going to keep playing defense. And if we get scored one more point than the other team, we still win. So above 69 or not, we're just kind of play defense and get the dub. So.
And I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. Look at this group behind you here. Everybody's fans right now. What does it mean to have this support from these folks?
It's really cool to come. I don't know if they're necessarily cheering for us, but
I see a lot of orange and black over here.
Yeah. I don't know.
Come over here real quick. You have something you want to ask?
Will you go to winter ball with me? You don't actually have to go. Say yes, but you don't have to come.
When is it?
Next weekend. Next Saturday.
Well, that might be a stay tuned moment, right? Mic drop. There you have it. Haley Van Lith. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back to wrap things up. I'll get it when she comes back in. Should we wrap things up real quick?
We have to go back down and interview that young man.
Yeah, we're going to have to find out what's going on there in a moment here. Todd, I think Todd might be willing to have us stay on here for a little longer. This is fun. We're on right now. Welcome back again to STSPN, and perhaps maybe we'll even try to get an interview here with the coach here in a moment. We'll look around. That was kind of a fun way to end things here as one of the members of the King student body asking her to the dance next week. Who knew? Started with a bang and ended with that.
Again, high school kids, they'll never stop surprising you. It's just remarkable.
What a great young lady, too.
Yes. My thought as you're interviewing her was, this isn't her first interview.
No.
But very well spoken, does a very nice job, and doesn't give you the kind of the pablum stuff. She's giving you the stuff that a good basketball player understands of the game is you would want to hear it for it. And you kept asking questions, and I think you could have probably spent a lot longer with her, but she kept answering so well. Very well spoken, and I think that's good for her as she moves to the collegiate level as well.
Well, again, I'll turn to our director here, Todd Ilvik. Do we want to keep it here a little longer? Do we want to try to get in? Okay, we're going to maybe so Brian, any closing thoughts for you before we let you go?
First of all, I do want to restate, I think they're both very fine teams. In probably a lot of other years, Kings would be a serious contender. You look at the score and you go, you can't be a serious contender for a state title if you play and get beat by 20 plus. I still think that you give Dan Taylor a few days to prep for something that might take place later. Maybe it's a closer game. I just think that Cashmere is a little bit beyond them right now. Both teams, I think, played really well. I said that several times in the broadcast. I think they played fairly clean. There weren't a ton of turnovers. They didn't seem to be shy away from the moment. Certainly Van Lith doesn't shy away from any moment because she's been in so many big moments. But just a very enjoyable basketball game and very well played by both teams.
The question, I guess the one question I didn't get to ask her, and I didn't expect that to end that way that quickly, but maybe I'll ask you what your thoughts are on this. And this would be a question I'd love to ask Coach Darnell. Haley Van Lith, you look at her resume and you look at what she's been able to accomplish and all of the All-American honors and all of the gold medals. The one thing she doesn't have on her resume, state championship.
Yeah.
How much would that mean if she was not able to do it? What would that mean? What do you think that would mean to her and her legacy?
Obviously, it would be a wonderful way for her to cap her high school career after being in state title games a couple of times and to be able to get to a place where she can have that on her resume. That would be fantastic.
Okay, we're gonna take another quick break.
Okay.
So, Brian, I think we'll go ahead and let you go at this point, but thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We're going to go take a quick break so I can go give this shirt to Haley and then maybe track down Coach Darnell. Again, final score, 65-44. This has been fun. We're going to try to keep this thing going, so don't go anywhere. You're watching STSPN. Let me know when you're ready, Todd. Welcome back to STSPN. Joining us right now, Corey Van Lith, father of Haley. My goodness, what a special young lady. Let's talk a little bit about the second quarter tonight. I asked her about it. She had a 23-point second quarter tonight. That's going to make Dad happy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she's very good offensively. She can score in bunches. That's not uncommon for Haley. She's had a lot of 30-point halves. I thought she just she's got to improve on coming out in the second half. And we got up a bunch, and she took the gas off a little bit. So she's just got to get better at being more consistent through 4 quarters. But, yes, I thought in the first and second quarter she was finding the gaps, finding their weaknesses, and exploiting them. And she can put up a lot of points quickly.
Noticing when I go into YouTube, you type in Haley's name, and a lot of the videos that pop up are of Haley's workouts, and you're obviously in quite a few of those. Talk a little bit about the work that's gone into getting her to this point in her career. Obviously, she was already immensely gifted to begin with, but certainly the two of you have worked together a lot to make her what she is today.
You know, there's I get it a lot, like, hey, can you show us what you do with Haley? And I'm like, it's not that easy. She was very gifted she was born with a lot of stuff, but there's nobody that works any harder than that girl. Like, ever since she was about 7 years old, we've been going at it for about 2-3 hours a night. And I'm not exaggerating, 6 days a week, easy. And between weightlifting, training, Haley was really little, and she told me, she's like, Dad, I want to be the best. And there was a little tiny girl looked me in the eyes, and I said, I played a lot. And I said, Haley, I think I know what it takes. But you got it, man. It's going to be hard. You got to willing to sacrifice, and it's not going to be fun. And she was like, I'm good. And she bought in to the process at a very young age and just loved it. And
it's not militant parroting. This is something she wanted, and you don't necessarily.
100%. Yeah. No, now don't get me wrong. When you go that often, that much, I always say it's not all high fives and, hey, great job and hugs. I mean, there's a lot of nights we're going at it, and I'm on her, and she's yelling at me. But the majority of the time, no. I mean, she understands. And I learned from her. She learned from me. And we just got better as we grew, and we're still doing it every night. We'll go home tonight and shoot when we get home.
The one question I wanted to ask Haley, and she kind of got whisked away with that whole mob squad over there a second ago. She has so many different things on her resume now. She's got the gold medals. She's got the Player of the Year award. She's got the All-American honors. She's missing one thing right now. She's missing that state title. What does that mean to her? What does that mean to the family, the Cashmere basketball community? And if she doesn't get it this year, it's not a given that they're going to win it. What would that mean moving forward? Is that something she can live with? She's done plenty as it is. She's already one of the top players we've ever seen in this region.
So if she fell short, I mean, all she could never do, I've told her, is go out and play defense and rebound and give it your best and let the chips fall where they may. And we've always said, if Haley Van List's on the floor, I like our chances. But if she falls short, she's got to walk away knowing that's what, she gave it her best. And so, I mean, granted, we're not thinking that way, but you're right. I mean, there's nothing given. And so if that's the way it goes, she'll go to Louisville and go try to win one there. But this team is playing very well as a team, and things are rolling right now, and everybody stays healthy. I like our chances.
Indeed. And how did you like the Louisville decision? I've got to think, as a dad, sending your daughter quite a few 1,000 miles away there, it's got to be a little bit painful, but at the same time, what a chance and what an opportunity.
It was. That whole recruit thing started real early with Haley, like 7th grade, and it was really obvious early, like Haley was getting looked at by the best programs in the country, and they all weren't very close. And Haley's been doing the USA, traveling for 45, 60 days at a whack, and so she's used to being gone. Like, it's not uncommon for Haley to be gone, and she can handle it. And so being close to home was never, it was, what is the best fit for Haley? Where can she go be the best? Because, I mean, now the training's done with me. When she goes on, like, I get to be dad. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that. It's time, and my voice has gotten old, I think, to her, so it's time. And so it was like whatever the best fit, and wherever that was, she was going to go. And so I was extremely happy. She had a lot of great options, but Louisville was just, it seemed to be the perfect fit. And so we're really looking forward to that.
Great opportunity for Dad to have an excuse to go to the Bluegrass.
Right. Amen.
I did want to get one more thing in before we wrap up the interview, because, again, I didn't get a chance to ask Haley. We often need to make sure that we mention the other players enough. Grace Hammond had a heck of a night tonight, too. Talk a little bit about this team as a whole. Is it a fun group to get to know and to watch on a regular basis?
I'm telling you, Haley gets a lot of attention, but this team, only reason why, we played some great teams this year. We went to Portland and played 3 great teams, and the only reason why we're really successful is because the other girls have stepped up. They've improved their game. between Grace Hammond had a great game tonight. Grace Erdman didn't show up in the scoring, but she plays does all the little things. Riley Johnson, phenomenal defensive player. Again, didn't see a lot of scoring, but she does all the defense. So they're all starting to find their role and understanding. Usually one person out of the night other than Haley steps up and scores and hits the open shots, and we're really tough when they do that. But it's been really fun to watch this team come together because it wasn't that way. Last year was tough. There was a lot of one-person type stuff going on just because she had to. And this year, it's Haley takes over when she needs to, and the other girls fill in the holes when they need to. And we've been really successful so far.
It's been a great recipe. Undefeated so far. They're ranked number 1 in the state. Again, Cashmere Bulldogs, joined by Corey Van Lith, father of Haley. Best of luck to you and the team down the stretch here. It should be a lot of fun.
Thank you. Go Bulldogs.
There we go. Go Bulldogs indeed. Corey, thank you for your time. I think at this point we'll go ahead and sign this thing out again. We want to thank Brian Peterson once again for his time. Thanks to Todd Millis for joining us earlier on the broadcast. For Todd Elvick, for Sarah Elvick, I'm Steve Willits. Thank you for watching STSPN, where once again the final score, Cashmere 65, Kings 44. Have a great rest of your weekend.